are they?
Who are they? These are DP.
DP.
Right, and so you can play 2 flutes at once, but only with 3 fingers and a thumb in this case on this one.
Gotcha. So you're blowing air into 2 different pipes at the same time.
Right, through this guy. Because,
cool.
Well,
that's something I've never seen before.
There's a, I don't know where it's from. It's a really cool looking thing. I can't remember the name of it. It's a Middle Eastern instrument, and you blow in this sort of gourd-like globe thing, and then it has 2 flutes.
Oh, cool.
And they do those quite a lot, like side-by-side ones.
Do you have to play them with the same fingers?
At the same time?
At the same time?
No.
No, you can just go however.
They just sort of like...
They sound best that way.
They sound best that way. The other thing too is any round flute can fit in this.
Oh, cool. So you can just swap.
You can have different scales or have a low one and just have one as a drone. This will make a high drone, which I don't think is all that cool. You know, like they aren't that well matched to do this.
Cool.
But, yeah. Anyway,
nice.
that's what they do, and they're like interchangeable.
And the stand is great because then you have an extra hand.
Yeah, and you can also do. If you were really tall.
Super tall. NBA players, don't be afraid to come and jam.
Take this part off and put it on there so it was lower. And
cool.
This one, which is sort of its cousin, these could go on here and do this with 2 or even 4 at once if you wanted.
Gotcha.
But the real idea of this one is called 4-flusher. I think I bent a little bit. But so these are all the same scales in.
Can you rotate it back a little bit this way so I can see it like the other way? Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
actually, sorry, it's hard to see for the audience. Can you do this guy, like, move this guy back over and then move him like there?
Okay.
That's perfect. Just like that. Awesome.
Welcome.
Welcome to the West. Alrighty, so who is this? Who are these guys?
These are called 4-flusher.
Hi, 4-flusher.
And with 4-flusher, the idea of 4-flusher is you can play. So you can play like in 4 different keys.
Gotcha.
And again, you could like adapt any group of keys to fit on this, or make it like this wide and have even more keys.
So that way, in a performance, you could just like boop 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 boop.
So you don't have to just stay with the same thing all the time if you don't want to. And
it's right there, ready for you.
And I'm, sometimes ambivalent about that, like the key changing thing. Western music, the one thing that the equal tempered scale is good at is that you can just change keys really interchangeably. And in all other musics of Earth, that's just something they would never think about doing. Because to make it work that way, you make a one-size-fits-all out of all your scales.
Gotcha.
And so they're not as... it's like you ignore all the details of what a scale is in order to achieve this interchangeable, flexible thing.
Okay.
And this does that, even though I don't think probably any of these are in perfect well temperament either. But yeah, and I'm kind of ambivalent about that whole idea of of making keys. Just for the record, I am strictly a microtonalist. I'm not a microtonalist in the more traditional sense of microtonality is like Harry Partch, where you had 43 equal divisions of the octave. Equal temperament has 12. There's one with 17, and there's a few others. Different people come up with them, and looking for all these subtleties that have just been totally lost in Western music about scales and things,
right?
And formations. It really just you throw a lot of babies out with that bathwater. And I'm not in that sense. I do not have a system. I think the problem doesn't matter if you have 43 or 12 or something. You're still stuck with a system,
right?
And obviously, making lots of flutes and stuff like that, each thing should sound like itself. And you should come up with tonal groups of, your keys like on a kind of, a temporary basis. Like you don't need one theory that works all the time. You can have a theory for this song and a different theory for that song.
Right.
There's no reason.
A theory for this instrument, a different theory for that instrument. Yeah.
And it's obviously inefficient. Like if I were a flute player, I would have a flute.
Yeah.
I'd have like a beautiful Powell flute, and I'd go around with that. And instead, like, to play what those guys play, I need 600 more of these.
Right.
I'm not shitting on that at all. Like, that's a really cool thing that they figured out how to make this interchangeable thing. But
yeah, to each their own, but you're doing a different investigation.
Yeah, there's a great deal of loss in that, and I think it's made, our music boring. It's like we know what it's going to sound like before it happens a little bit.
And it's kind of like, that sounds right.
Yeah, or you have to be, or the other thing too is you have to be super good to overcome this and be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, so the music has to get like incredibly complex, which like regular people can't do.
Yeah.
Or just incredibly difficult physically to play. Like, you have to be this incredible virtuoso to play this song that you like.
Right.
And,
and it's about technical changes and little this.
And a whole lot of people won't even notice that. Like, not that, like, if you do something that pleases you, like on that level, excellent.
Great, yeah.
Great, this is good, But everybody shouldn't be put in the position where they have to do that to be interesting and original in music.
Right.
There should be, like, people that just sort of something like, ooh, that sounds cool, instead of like, oh, I've adapted myself to this complex system. Of this or that, So with the microtonality thing, like of the community of it, of which I consider myself a part, I'm just not in the kind of systematizing one, because I don't think any system. Here's what I mean: is that the reason music has gotten boring is because of its system. It's because we're tired of the system, and I don't think making another system is going to actually solve the problem. The problem is having a system much more than it's that this system will be better than that system.
Right.
Each of these systems has its own, like Harry Parch's system has lots of cool things it can do that, equal temperament can't do. And so does somebody else's. Like anybody who comes up with a system that's really cool for what it does.
Right.
And it's good for that. But it either makes it really more complicated to do something that doesn't fit in that system, or it makes it impossible for something that doesn't fit in that system. And so you're still like corralling yourself into a smaller area of music than someone like me really wants to do.
Right, so you're more interested in sort of the desystemization of music.
Right, and I'll think about how they're tuned, like a lot, that's what you do while you're making these, is like think about what is this tuning, and sometimes I analyze them, and sometimes I just listen to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll be playing something, and I'll have a flute part in it, and I'll be going along and go in, just not cutting it, so I'll just go out in the shop and make another one that does sound good on this song.
Oh, that's cool, yeah. I like that a lot. Desystemization and customization, my friends.
And this is systematic, this one.
Yep.
These like just modulate by minor thirds, and it's just something I play a lot on the piano, and I miss doing this on like the other instruments. So this goes with Fark is the same, is from the same thing, and Forky, which was the xylophone with 4 different bays,
and
does the same thing as
Farp is just in case people don't remember. Yeah.
And they do the same thing as these 4 flutes. So I made them to all do this particular thing together, and I've never done the particular thing together with them.
Cool, let's do it.
It just hasn't happened, and it might sometime.
Yeah.
Because I go really back and forth on the thing about changing keys is you can just keep doing the same thing and make it seem interesting because you're changing the key. And that's anybody who's heard Delta Dawn, the song Delta Dawn by Helen Reddy. It's just Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? And then the next chorus, it just changes key. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? Next one, Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? So you can take this same tiny little bit of material and make it into a whole thing.
Yeah.
Ooh Child does that too. I like Ooh Child. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
I love that.
Oh, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
I love that song. But it's this little tiny musical idea that you'd be bored of, like the third or fourth time you heard it. But if you keep changing keys, you can make a whole 3-minute pop song out of it.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
One day we'll be walking in the light of the beautiful sun. You know.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a great song. I like that song.
Yeah.
But as a piece of music, it's just this tiny little thing that they've manufactured through this, like, you can keep changing keys to make it interesting. So I do kind of resist, even though I made these things that I could do that with, I still haven't done it because I kind of think like, dude, that's a little bit cheating. Like, you're making something boring into something that appears interesting rather than making something actually interesting. Right. So they exist, you know, they're there if I ever want to do that, but.
Well, we should do it regardless. Well, pleasure to meet you guys. Till next time.